Hello friends, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Mariam Hussain and I make videos related to dentistry and medicine. So today I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be all about giant cell arteritis or GCA. So without wasting any time, let's just get right into the video. So what is actually GCA or giant cell arteritis? It is an immune-mediated vasculitis, or I must say arteritis, and it is also known as temporal arteritis and granulomatous arteritis. Now there are a few important points that we need to know about GCA. Firstly, it is a systemic condition. It is not a local condition. Secondly, it affects only the medium and the larger sized arteries. And thirdly, the most common site is head and neck, and in head and neck, the most common site is the temporal region, where it involves superficial temporal artery, hence the name temporal arteritis. So what actually happens that leads to GCA? As I mentioned previously, this is an immune-mediated condition in which the body starts to produce immune response to our own cells, and our cell surfaces start to act as antigens. And this leads to vasculitis, or the inflammation of the vessel walls, which further leads to vascular occlusion and ischemia, leading to ischemic injury of the areas which are supplied by that particular vessel. Now let's talk about the clinical features. Firstly, the women are affected twice as compared to men, and the patients are mostly above 50 years of age. Talking about symptoms that particularly occur in temporal arteritis, the first one is severe headache, and it is always almost unilateral, and it may occur in the temporal region most commonly, or it may occur in the occipital region as well. Secondly, there is tenderness of scalp, and the patient might complain of pain while combing the hair. Third is claudication or stiffness of the jaw when eating, and throat pain. Moving on to the clinical signs, particularly for temporal arteritis. Temporal artery is usually normal on examination, but it may be enlarged, or it may be tender on palpation. It may appear nodular, or it may be pulsatile as well. Secondly, in case of ophthalmic arteries involvement, it may lead to occlusive arteritis, which leads to sudden, painless, temporary, or it may be a permanent visual loss. So GCA might also affect aorta as well. So when it does so, it leads to asymmetry of pulse, and it may also lead to the murmurs. And there is a condition called thoracic aortic aneurysms that occur in the thoracic aorta, and these occur 17 times more commonly or more frequently in the patients with GCA. So now moving on to investigations that we need to perform. The first one that I'm going to mention is temporal artery biopsy, and it is a definitive diagnostic test, and it must be performed within 36 hours of starting corticosteroids. Then we have ESR and CRPs. Both of these are high in this case, and the blood count is also normal, or it may have a normocytic normochromic anemia in some cases. And interleukin 6 is the most sensitive indicator of the disease activity in this condition. Now talking about the treatment, treatment mostly depends upon the steroids, and because the steroids produce a dramatic reduction of symptoms, as it is an autoimmune condition, and steroids reduce or suppress the response of immunity. So within 24 to 48 hours of strong treatment of corticosteroids, there is a dramatic reduction of symptoms. And the starting dose is usually high with corticosteroids, as we do in any condition in which we need to give corticosteroids. We always start with a higher dose, and then we reduce it or taper it slowly in weeks. So usually we advise prednisolone 60 mg that is to be taken daily. Systemic signs and symptoms, if present, they include fever, malaise, fatigue, anorexia, and weight loss. Also, many patients develop polymyalgia rheumatica, which is a condition characterized by aching pain and morning stiffness, usually in the neck, in shoulders, and in the pelvic girdle. Rarely, there can also be involvement of lingual artery, and when the lingual artery is involved, it can lead to unilateral or bilateral tongue necrosis. And lastly, I want to mention is that a variable number of multinucleated giant cells are mixed with macrophages and lymphocytes in this case, and these are the findings on histopathological slides. That is the reason that this condition is termed as giant cell arteritis. So that's it for today's topic. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And also, you guys can suggest me new topics that you want me to make videos on. Share this video with your friends. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. See you in another video. Till then, take care.